Hello and welcome to Hamer Reviews. My name is Christopher Hamer, and today I'm reviewing the Sony WH-CH710N on-ear wireless active noise cancelling headphones. Now, the reason I was so interested in reviewing these is that they look strikingly similar to the more premium WH-1000XM3s that I use on a day-to-day basis. And yet, they only cost £100. Which is a third of the XM3s. So, where has Sony saved money, and are these worth buying? Those are the two questions I want to address today. So right off the bat, when I hold both of them, they weigh about the same. The design is, as I said, strikingly similar. You have the same style headband with the metal reinforcements as you have on the XM3s. You have the same ear cup design, except that these don't fold flat as the XM3s do. The plastics feel a lot cheaper on this. It's all hard plastics, so not soft touch like the XM3s. However, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because in terms of build quality, these still feel very good. So although the materials feel cheaper, I do still think they'll last the test of time. But the most important thing is sound quality. Do they sound good? And the good news is that they don't sound bad, but they don't sound great either. So what I mean by that is that although it has quite strong punchy bass, the highs are fairly distinct and quite clear, it all just sounds a little bit muffled, almost like you've put a filter in front of these. Now, given that they cost a third of the price, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. But the most important thing is, does the noise cancellation detract from that sound experience or does it add to it? Because what these do so well is that when you're listening to music, if you have the noise cancellation on and you have background noise, the music is just so much more enjoyable, or movie or whichever content you're watching, because they're able to cut down that background noise without disturbing the sound quality. And that's why I think these do really well. When you have them on and you're listening to music, in all honesty, if you have some background noise, they just sound really good. It's not the same level of experience as you'd get from like top tier headphones, whether it's the Sonys or the Bose or Sennheiser's equivalent. They do sound less premium, but for £100, I think they sound very good. There are headphones for £100 that do sound better than these, but none of them have noise cancellation. When you are wearing them, it is worth noting that these do have less padding in the actual ear cups, and there is solid plastic right behind them. So when you do feel the ear cup a bit more, but they're not that fatiguing to wear, though they aren't as comfortable as the more premium version, but it doesn't detract away from your listening experience. I also wonder whether the use of this harder foam on these ear cups perhaps is one of the reasons why they're less sound isolating than the more premium version, because these have very nice memory foam, which really molds to your head. But when you're wearing these, they don't do that. So I wonder whether that's where you maybe are losing some of that noise cancellation. But overall, the sound quality is actually not bad. They sound absolutely fine. And I think 90% of people are going to be quite happily listening to these. I'd say the measure is if you're happy with the basic set of headphones that come with, say, a mobile, say Apple's EarPods that come with most of their devices, or some of sort of say the Samsung headphones that come with theirs, you're probably going to be happy with these and see these as an upgrade. And I think the noise cancellation in them is good enough to warrant that. I did try and sort of test it. Obviously, I can't jump on a plane at the moment because of the pandemic, and I'm still avoiding air travel for a while, I think, as a result. But I did sort of simulate that by using some large speakers in my room to sort of use some cabin noise that someone had recorded on YouTube. And they did cut down that noise a fair bit. I realized that's not the same as being able to actually test them in the plane, but I do think they made the experience easier for me when I was listening to content. I think that's where they really shine. One of the great things about them is they have fantastic battery life. So you'll get 35 hours if you have active noise cancellation on, or 40 if you have it off. You can plug in a USB-C cable to charge them, which is included. And just 10 minutes of charging will give you an hour of listening time. So fantastic if you are waiting for a flight and you realize your battery's almost dead, charge that for 10 minutes. That'll give you, an hour of listening, which is good. The controls on them are actually very nice. You have an on-off switch, you have a noise cancellation switch, so you can switch it on, off, or switch an ambient mode on, which allows background noise around. So for instance, if you're walking around the city, so you can still hear the city around you. And you have the usual play, pause, and volume rockers. If anything, I actually prefer the controls on this versus the touch controls on the more premium version. They also integrate the HD voice technology, which means if you're using them to make phone calls, they're relatively clear. I would say that they're not the best. They are on a par with the XM3s, but they're still not my favorite because the background noise they let in is a huge amount, but that's not too bad. It's not a killer, as it were. I like the fact they include an aux cable as well. So if you're listening to these sort of wired devices, that's absolutely fine. And they come in 3 colors, which is quite nice. I really fancy the blue, and actually I do think that's my favorite. The black version looks quite good too, but do check them out. But overall, I think they're not bad. You don't get accessories, you don't get a case with it, but I don't think you really need one. They feel quite well made. So if you just chuck them in your bag, I reckon they'll be fine. So overall, these are a set of headphones which, given the money, are surprisingly good. They are well made, and most importantly, I think they're going to last a while, and the noise cancellation does work. It's not as good as a full premium version, but at the cost, I think they represent good value for money. So I'd actually recommend checking them out. If you have any questions though, pop them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to respond and address any concerns you have. Equally, if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Goodbye.